Okay, so check this out. Pull up the site on MarketWatch. One San Francisco accountant finishes every client conversation with a discussion about what a Biden administration could mean for portfolios. Okay, so very simple. At the end of his meeting with his clients, go a little lower. One San Francisco accountant finishes every meeting with conversation about Biden administration. San Francisco accountant Scott Hope had a client who was planning to stretch the sale of founder shares in a tech sector company over a 3-year period. Instead, the client compressed the installment sale into one-shot transaction this month, meaning you have $10 million and you're asking to sell the shares over 3 years. You get $3.3 million every year. Why? Because you don't want to pay that much in taxes this year. Instead, the accountant advised him to do it in 1 month. What accelerated this deal? The 2020 presidential race. Assuming all else was equal, that was the driver of the choice, said Hope. He's the accountant, principal of the accounting firm Why Blue. Right now, Hope's clients worth between $10 to $20 million will be taxed on capital gains at a rate of 23.8%. If Democratic candidate Joe Biden beats Trump and Democrats retain a House of Representatives and flip the Senate, that client could have potentially been staring at a 39.6% tax rate in 2 out of the installment sales 3 years. The compressed transaction then could have saved the client approximately $320,000 in taxes on the $6 million sale. The seller for sure was motivated and the buyer had the wherewithal to pay the full price up front. So you go down and you read this and you're looking at numbers and interest rates. This is not a political site, by the way. If you look at this right here, election day is 8 weeks away and a massive expected mail-in ballots could prolong the wait for final result, with many states not beginning to count absentee votes till the polls close. Though polling average in swing states currently give Biden an edge over President Trump, and he's held a steady lead in national polls for most of the year, polls indicate right up until Election Day, November 22nd, that Hillary Clinton would have beat Trump. So you see something like this here. For some of you guys that are listening to this, I mean, the one question you have to ask when you're sitting down with your accountant today is, what am I looking at with Trump getting elected? What am I looking at with Biden getting elected? I mean, the first thing I do is I send an email. I say, listen, send me a breakdown. I need to know both of these things here. What does Biden look like? What does Trump look like? Everybody listening to this should be doing this, whether you're making $60,000 a year or $1 million a year. What are your thoughts about this account here?
Okay, are people going to change who they're going to vote for because of that? You think they might, especially rich people, especially people in Silicon Valley. I mean, are they still anti-Trump, but knowing, what a difference it's going to make in their finances? When I was researching this story, raising taxes is all about generating revenue for the country. You know where they're missing out? Tax collection. I saw that the IRS audited 1.73 million returns, almost 1% of all returns in 2010. But they've had to let go a lot of IRS employees, so they're auditing far fewer tax returns. 770,000, so 1 million fewer tax returns were audited in 2019. Obama's former campaign advisor, Lawrence Summers, said if they went back to the previous levels, they would generate $535 billion in tax revenue if they were to audit more people, which is kind of scary, isn't it? Let's not give the IRS any more incentive here, but that I find really interesting. People do have big decisions to make when it comes to this. What do they lean one way or another when you ask them, when you send that email, or is it all data for them?
Well, I asked Adam the same question. Adam said, he says, hey, if I was selling a company, I'd probably vote for Trump, but I'm not. So meaning, how many people are going through that process right now? How big is that community really that's going to want to make the difference? How many people are selling shares right now? How many people are selling founder shares right now? What's a lot? Is it 10 million or is it 500,000? Is it a million? That's the number that you look at. And how many of those are really willing to flip to go to the other side? Are they willing to flip and vote for Trump? Are they willing to? And by the way, what's half the battle why people don't want to vote for Trump or Biden? You know what it is? What is it? If somebody asks, if somebody asks Adam in Miami, who'd you vote for? He can't say Trump.
Yeah.